What up? This is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Netflix's new documentary series, Fear City, New York versus the Mafia. Hey, before you watch my review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, and ring that bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. And if you would like to help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this. First up, I would like to say thank you to Netflix for granting me the screener to this new limited show. I myself grew up a fan of mobster movies. Freaking love The Godfather and Scarface. And to me, The Sopranos is the greatest show in the history of television. But there's nothing romanticized about how the mafia is chronicled in this Fear City docu. When it does show you the golden age of mob, it shows it to you with sort of like a label that says, this is short-term fun. None of this fast cars, party every night lifestyle lasts forever, cause either jail or death is around the corner. For the most part, this docu says straight up, Mafia is the bad guys. No ifs or buts about it. And then it shows you the painstaking process of taking them down. Fear City is raw, it's gritty, it's highly absorbing. It's kind of like watching the back end of a Scorsese movie and the back end of the Wire series all mashed into one. Absolutely phenomenal. Directed by Sam Hopkinson. Throughout the 70s and the 80s, the five families of New York Mafia, Bonanno, Colombo, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese, held a powerful grip on the Big Apple. In this three-part docuseries, award-winning documentarian Sam Hopkinson details the incredible story of the groundbreaking organized crime investigation and the prosecution case brought against New York's most formidable mob bosses. Through interviews with dozens of law enforcement officials, ex-mafia associates, and others, Fear City, New York versus the Mafia sheds a light on how the mafia's control of unions, high-rise constructions, and other industries bring in billions of dollars for the organized crime. So it goes chronologically, from the 70s at the prime of mafia success, all the way to mid-80s, when Rudy Giuliani and his fellow US attorneys swoop in like shining knights and struck a lightning of indictments that ultimately put away these crooks. I mentioned earlier the Wire series. It's the best way to describe this show because a big chunk of Fear City highlights audio surveillances. It is as captivating as it gets. And the reenactments themselves are equally riveting because they recreate the situations just as exactly the way the people that were there remembered them. You'll also notice that the music score frequents back and forth from one constant synthesizer note that stresses things out to something that's a bit more orchestral whenever it needs to break the tension. This docu lets you in on the specifics of mafia code, mafia commission, mafia hierarchy. So on the side of the bad guys, you have a couple of former mobsters who share what it was like back in the day when things were hella nice for them, making $1 million a week, having a little power, and people don't mess with you. And on the side of the good guys, you have former cops and former attorneys who recollect what it was like for them to keep tabs on the mafia. And the way that this docu features all those guys on both sides, it's done in a very ominous but classy way. They would either be sitting in their vintage cars or sitting in the gym, and the slow but steady cinematography captures them staring into nothing, as if they're reflecting or doing self-acknowledgement in complete silence. It really elevates them into these fascinating, rare figures who had lived to tell the story. Director Sam Hopkinson doesn't hold back either when sharing some of the archival footage. This is not a documentary for the squeamish. It is a chilling but masterful presentation of good versus evil. Fear City wants to show you the part of America's history that we can't deny because it'll always be a dark stain on our country's past. There may be a new strain of mobsters in today's internet era. They may not necessarily be wearing $5,000 suits, but as long as the good guys are persistent and determined, then justice will prevail.